To the outside world, Kenya is a land of safaris and savannas, but to those in the intelligence community, it is something else entirely. It is the fortress of East Africa. It is the shield that holds back the tide of violent extremism threatening to engulf the continent. But steel is not forged in comfort. It is forged in fire, and the soldiers of the Kenya Defense Forces, the KDF, are subjected to some of the most brutal, sadistic, and scientifically calculated training pipelines on planet Earth. We are not talking about basic boot camp. We are talking about courses designed to break the human mind and rebuild it into a weapon. From the shark-infested waters of the Indian Ocean to the freezing altitudes of Mount Kenya and the scorching hellscape of Archer's Post, only the strongest survive. Most will ring the bell, many will be injured, some will die. Today we are taking you behind the razor wire. We have uncovered the classified curriculums, the grueling physical standards, and the psychological torture used to select the KDF elite. We will show you how a civilian is turned into a ranger, a paratrooper, a commando, and a ghost. This is not a game. This is the 9 toughest military training courses in Kenya. Number 9, the calm before the storm, or so they think. Before any KDF soldier sets a boot inside Somalia to fight Al-Shabaab, they must survive the PSO pre-deployment course. You might think this is just a refresher course. You would be dead wrong. This training is designed to simulate the absolute worst-case scenarios of modern asymmetric warfare. The instructors here aren't teaching from a textbook. They are veterans who have seen their friends evaporated by IEDs in the Gedo region. The curriculum is built around one concept: hyperrealism. The centerpiece of this hell is the counter-IED lane. The KDF has studied the tactics of Al-Shabaab meticulously. They know that 60% of casualties come from roadside bombs. So, in this course, soldiers are subjected to deafening explosions, simulated casualties with realistic gore, and ambushes that last for hours under the blistering sun. They practice the 5 and 25 scans until their eyes bleed. They learn to spot a disturbed patch of dirt from 50 meters away while moving in an armored convoy. The psychological pressure is immense. If you fail here, you don't just get a bad grade, you get sent home, labeled as a liability who would get his squad killed. At number 8, we strip away the peacekeeping and get down to the blood and guts of warfare. The Infantry Battalion Battle School. This is where the Simba is taught to hunt. The location alone is a weapon. Isiolo. The heat here averages 35 degrees Celsius, and the terrain is unforgiving volcanic rock and dust. This course isn't about special operations, it's about mastering the brutal art of conventional war. The climax of this training is the platoon and company fire attacks. This is not shooting paper targets. This is maneuvering hundreds of men, live artillery support, and mortar fire, all coordinated in a symphony of destruction. Recruits are forced to dig foxholes in the rock-hard earth, sleep in them for weeks, and execute assaults on fortified positions while suffering from extreme dehydration and fatigue. The instructors are looking for aggressive spirit. They want to see who hesitates when the machine gun starts cycling, because in the KDF doctrine, hesitation is death. Number 7 takes us to the intellectual slaughterhouse, the Kenya Military Academy in Lanate. This is where the KDF forges its commanders. It takes 3 grueling years to turn a high school graduate into a second lieutenant. And while the academic load is heavy, a bachelor's degree in military science, the physical reality is a nightmare. The first 6 months are known as the breaking. Cadets are stripped of their identity. They are screamed at, run until they vomit, and forced to endure the famous Lanate mud. But the hardest part isn't the PT, it's the responsibility. During field exercises, cadets are placed in command of tired, hungry troops and given impossible objectives. They are graded on their ability to think clearly when their body is shutting down. This training mimics the Sandhurst model from the UK, but adapted for the African bush. By the time they earn their commission and that single star on their shoulder, they have proven they can lead men into the mouth of hell and bring them back alive. Number 6, you have your gun. You have your uniform, but what happens when you are cut off? What happens when the convoy is destroyed, the radio is dead, and you are alone in enemy territory? Welcome to Combat Survival and Jungle Warfare Training. This course is psychologically devastating because the enemy isn't human. The enemy is starvation. The enemy is hypothermia. The enemy is your own mind. Soldiers are dropped into the dense canopy of the Aberdares or Mount Kenya with nothing but a knife and a uniform. For weeks, they must evade hunter forces, elite trackers sent to find them. They learn to skin snakes, identify edible plants, and source water from vines. They are subjected to stress positions and mock interrogations to test their resistance to capture. The KDF knows that Al-Shabaab does not take prisoners. This training is the only insurance policy these soldiers have against a fate worse than death. Number 5. We look to the skies. The 20th Parachute Battalion, the Falcons. To wear the coveted maroon beret of the Kenyan Airborne, you must pass one of the most physically demanding selection courses in Africa. It is modeled directly on the British Parachute Regiment's P Company. It all comes down to the shuffle, a relentless high-speed march over uneven terrain carrying battle loads. Candidates must complete a 10-miler, a 20-miler, and the dreaded log race. If you fall behind, you are out. If you show weakness, you are out. Only after their bodies are broken do they even get to see a parachute. Then comes the jump course. Static line jumps from C-27J Spartans or Y-12 aircraft. The adrenaline is massive, but the danger is real. A twisted ankle or a blown knee here ends your career. This training produces soldiers who are aggressive, fast, and completely fearless. Number 4. The sea is unforgiving, but the training for the Kenya Navy Marine Commandos is worse. This is a relatively new capability for Kenya, developed with the help of the US Navy SEALs and British Royal Marines. The result, a training pipeline that breaks men in the surf. The attrition rate here rivals any special forces unit in the world. Recruits endure drown-proofing. Their hands and feet are bound, and they are thrown into deep water. They must bob, float, and swim to survive. Panic means drowning. Then there are the beach runs. Miles of running in soft sand, carrying heavy rubber boats on their heads. The salt chafes their skin raw, the cold ocean at night saps their core temperature. They are pushed to the brink of hypothermia, then ordered to storm a beach and clear a kill house. This creates a soldier who is amphibious, lethal, and mentally indestructible. Number 3. The Men in Black, the Recce Squadron. This is not military brute force. This is surgical precision, drawn from the elite of the General Service, Unit GSU. These men are the Tier 1 law enforcement unit of Kenya. Their training is focused on one thing: close quarters battle. The selection is grueling, but the specialized training is where the magic happens. They spend thousands of hours in the killing house. They fire hundreds of thousands of rounds of ammunition. They train to differentiate between a terrorist and a hostage in a fraction of a second. They master explosive breaching, blowing doors off hinges, and rappelling from helicopters onto skyscraper roofs. The psychological stress is dialed to maximum. One mistake in training means a dead hostage in the real world. They are the scalpel of Kenya's security apparatus. Number 2. The Hammer, the 40th Rangers Strike Force. If Recce is the scalpel, the Rangers are the sledgehammer. Modeled on the US Army Rangers 75th Regiment, this training is designed to produce the premier light infantry shock troops of Africa. The Ranger Selection Course is a 60-day nightmare of sleep deprivation and physical exhaustion. Candidates conduct raid after raid, night after night. They walk until their feet are bloody stumps, carrying 40 kilograms rucksacks. They are trained in advanced air assault, sliding down ropes from hovering helicopters directly into a firefight. They master the FN SCAR rifle and advanced night vision tactics. The instructors break them down to see if they will quit. Those who remain are bonded by shared suffering. They are the tip of the KDF spear. And finally, number 1. The training that officially doesn't exist. The Special Forces selection for the 30th Special Forces Regiment and Long-Range Surveillance LRS units. This is the Tier 1 capability of the Kenya Defense Forces. To even be invited to selection, you must already be the best of the best to pass. You must be superhuman. The physical torture is a given, but SF selection is about the mind. Candidates are subjected to isolation. They are given complex problems to solve while starving and hallucinating from lack of sleep. They undergo SERE training at a level that would break a normal man. They are hunted across vast distances. They must prove they can operate deep behind enemy lines in Somalia, with no support, no backup, and no recognition. Most drop out, the bell rings constantly, but the few who walk out the other side, they are no longer just soldiers. They are the silent professionals, the ones who visit violence upon Al-Shabaab in the dead of night. They are the most feared men in East Africa. Which of these training courses do you think you could survive? The isolation of the jungle, the drowning pool of the Marines, or would you ring the bell on day one?